I know it's you're a comedian, you're a great comedian, but I didn't come here as a comedian tonight. I come here as a real issue. You do what you want, and I'll do what I want. That's the agreement we made, right?
Yeah, no, we're doing a real interview. I just wanted to break the ice a little bit. So, for those who don't know who our guest is, he's one of the most famous wrestlers to ever come out of Portland, Oregon. He's from Portland, and then he fulfilled the dream of going to the WWF. He wrestled the WrestleMania 3, and he's now the main litigant in a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and the WWF for wrongful death and negligent. You know what? You tell us, Billy.
Well, you're right in a sense. There's 2 wrongful deaths that are filed right now against the WWE with 2 wrestlers that passed away, and there's another one against Eddie Guerrero's family who passed away in 2005. Chavo Guerrero. Where's the camera? Right here.
It's probably that one. We got that one, we got that one, we got that one.
I want to know where is the red light? I'm used to the red light in the wrestling business.
You know what? Out there, Ryan, we don't have red lights, do we? What camera are we on?
What? Just tell me what camera I'm on, man.
Yo, he's a pro wrestler. He's got to know right where to point.
Yeah, we go.
Camera 1!
Red light, brother. Okay. And so the WWE in the last. Since 2002, they've changed it to WWE. It used to be the WWF when I was in it. And in a portion of time of approximately 10 years, 47 wrestlers passed away. During that time, to be very honest with you all, because that's the way I am, I was a 28-year drug addict to Vicodin. It started in 1987. When I was in the World Wrestling Federation, I broke my left arm. And in the World Wrestling Federation, and owner Vince McMahon, you're not allowed to go to an ER room when you're a professional wrestler because you don't have a union like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and so forth. So they kept it internal. So instead of going to the hospital, taking time off, they shot me full of morphine in my left arm. That's what they did for about a week. I'm making $10,000 a week, which is a lot of money. And I became a drug addict, like 90% of the professional wrestlers, and the other 10% were liars. And so what happened, the guy started keeling up. And Vince McMahon wouldn't take any responsibility for it. So I became so addicted to morphine that I didn't know what to do. I mean, I wrestled in WrestleMania 3 in front of 100,000 people. To this day, people will come up and say, how did it feel to wrestle in front of 100,000 people? And I'll be honest with all of you right now, I don't remember the match. I watched it on TV, I was so high, and so was my opponent, Hercules, who by the way, is dead now in 2004. Vince McMahon, quote-unquote, heart attack, no, drug overdose. Like we were all addicted to the road 320 nights a year, 5 via plane, and 2 via rent-a-car. When you had a day off, you couldn't get home because you had to fly home, and he made sure you were far enough away from your home so you got a hotel and slept. So another 99.9% of the wrestlers were divorced, couldn't see their kids, and the money you made, boom, cut that right in half. He called us independent contractors, Vince McMahon did. Independent means you pay for all your expenses. Everybody who's had a business knows you're an independent contractor does that. But yet every week, Vince McMahon would give us our airfare tickets, which in total $5,000 a week, or $3,000 to $5,000 a week. So we're not independent contractors. And so he used that, so we didn't have to have a union, so he kept it internal. And these guys kept dying, and my friends, I was so drugged out, I couldn't do nothing about it. And finally, after so many years, these guys dying, you know, I went mentally ill, I really did. I got to where I was taking 50 Vicodin a day, going to the emergency rooms, taking from my family, ripping people off. I did everything possible under the sun, and I'm very ashamed to say today, that's what I did. I used to be a one-time millionaire. I went from a millionaire to a total junkie. How I made it alive today is beyond me. But I'll tell you what happened, Jesse. I really appreciate you giving me the honor to say this to all you, to the camera on YouTube. What saved me was a Marine, a U.S. Marine. And the Marine's name was Corporal Keaton Coffey. He doesn't even know this yet. But I was out in Oregon City going to commit suicide July 14, 2012. I took 42 milligrams Xanax. I wanted to end it all. And after I took them, I was going to lay down next to my mother and father's grave and die, like all the other wrestlers did, commit suicide, overdose, or murder. So what I did is I take these pills, and I'm going to lay down and say, no, I haven't said goodbye to my uncle yet in the cemetery that my parents are buried at. I go over to my uncle. There's a paper, a newspaper, and it blows right into my arms, into my hand. And I look at it, and it said May 24th from Damascus, Oregon, Corporal Keaton Coffey had died in action in Afghanistan. And I knew his family. I used to live in Damascus. I looked at it, and he died May 24th. May 24th is the date that my mother passed away in the cemetery. The funeral, which this is a 7-week-old obituary that blew up, was in the summer, blew up into my hands. The funeral was June 4th. That's the day my bio father was murdered, shot 27 times. They were going to get married to a sweetheart July 14th. That was the day that I was committing suicide. That was the day my birth certificate was. I was born July 10th, and that's the day I picked because my dad was buried that day. So I figured I was touched by God, some internal message that was sent to me, so I self-induced vomit, got most of the bars, yellow bars out of my stomach, but I was in critical condition for 4 days. And I pulled through. I don't know how I did it, it's a miracle. That's where this lawsuit started, because I should be dead, and I said, you know, I'm going to go after McMahon. And that's what I did.
Okay. So, let's put this into perspective real quick. So, you have a lawsuit, and your legal team is the same team that just defeated the NFL, the National Football League, over basically the same style of ignoring and negligence over concussions and the care of the employees, right? And they just defeated the NFL for $1.2 billion in a federal court. On June 30th, right, June 30th, downtown at the Portland Federal Courthouse, there will be a hearing to determine what exactly, jurisdiction for the case, what's going to be decided on June 30th downtown.
What will be decided June 30th? Just let me back up just a little bit.
Okay, yeah, please.
It's okay, Jesse, man. We only fought one time, so doing pretty good, man. What happened was I filed a suit 9 months ago, and Vince McMahon himself laughed at me. The entire WWE laughed at me and thought I was just some kind of a junkie. Well, at that time, I said, you know what? I got on the internet and I was looking at the NFL, and the NFL won a lawsuit for $1.2 billion for head trauma, concussion, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're tough guys. We know a lot of NFL players in the world of professional wrestling. So I'm getting ready to shut it off, the computer, and I look up at the right and it says, if you're a former WWF or WWE pro, you may be worth millions. Give me a call. And the attorney's name is Bill Kairos in Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm jumped out of my mind still. I'm 30 biker, I'm still a junkie. And I called that number. And the guy told me, send him the WrestleMania tape where I got 20 stitches and I got hit with a chain because I couldn't get my razor blade out. If anybody's seen WrestleMania 3, you seen where I went for my razor, the camera was on me, I pulled back. I told Bobby Heenan inside the court, inside the ring, that's our little dance ring we got there in front of 100,000 people, to give me hardway juice. Hardway juice is when you get hit for real. And there's no pulling punches. It's a real thing. So Hercules Hernandez hit me 4 times with his chain until it busted my head open. So I laid there I was unconscious, and Bobby Heenan's guys couldn't get me out. They left. So the next match had to come on because it's pay-per-view. I was still knocked out. They actually drugged me out of the ring and threw me on a cart and drove me back to the dressing room where I got 20 stitches. And of course I got another 20 Vicodin back, you know. So they're suturing me up, back in the locker room. These guys, it was unbelievable because I love my brothers and sisters in the business, but the promoter is so effed up. Vince McMahon, mentally ill, he thinks the whole world is a work, but it's not. This is a real shoot. When a guy dies, you bury him in the ground. If anybody thinks that's fake, you're out of your mind. That family has to go through living hell. And I've seen this so many times. So finally I decided to file the lawsuit with this guy. I told him about my drug habit. He said, drop it right now. And I did. And I've been clean 9 months. Haven't had any drugs at all. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everybody. And that's where we're at. We filed the lawsuit 9 months ago. The WWE laughed at me. They kept laughing for a month, and finally they kept delaying it. Now we got 10 guys backing me up, wrestlers backing me up, then we got 20 backing me up, the old timers, and now there's 30, now there's 40, we're getting close to 50. By the time we hit it, there'll probably be 100 wrestlers, former WWF wrestlers, in this class action lawsuit with multi-mega $1 million. And my goal is to look in the camera right at you, Vince McMahon, if you're watching me or you got a mark out there that's going to tell you about this. This camera here? All right. Vince, I don't want to yell no more because I had a shoot interview in 2009. I was so high out of my mind. I called you F and this and F and that, a killer and all this stuff, right? And I do still feel that way. You know, but I'm not going to yell at you about it. I mean,
passive aggressive.
Anyway,
Portland kicking in.
But what's going to happen, what they're going to do, Jesse, they're going to come to court. We finally got into court. Bill Kairos, the NFL attorneys, they took and filed it right here in Portland, Oregon instead of Connecticut, his backyard. This whole venue coming up June 30th at 9:30 in the morning at the Marquette Federal Court in room 11A. If everybody can come in and just support us from Portland here, because this idiot ass spent $100 million to try and get a Senate seat. Vince McMahon, his wife Linda McMahon, while all our guys are on SSI out in the streets. Kamala in a wheelchair, who was in WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 4, 8, he headlined.